Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yeah, and choo-choo.
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
All aboard the murder train, everybody, pulling away from the station. Let's do this. We have a crazy episode. This might be the craziest episode literally we've ever had in the history of any of our shows, but this is absolutely insane is the only way to say it. I don't even know what to tell you. But before we get to that, very quickly, thank you for all that you do for us. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get everything you could want. Small town murder and crime and sports related, including merchandise, tons of new stuff up. That, and of course, tickets to live shows. Oh, we can't wait. Virtual live show. You can't come to us. We will come to you. We're coming to you wherever you are in the world. We're going to be there in your living room, just hanging out with you, right in your face. October the 27th, and it's available for a week after that as well. Halloween. Spend Halloween with us. We're going to have a creepy, nasty, Halloweeny murder. It's going to be fun stuff. You know, it'll be something weird.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll dress up. Maybe we won't. You don't know.
You don't know.
You're going to have to tune in and find out. Get those tickets at shutupandgivememurder.com or moment.co/smalltownmurder.
Right.
Or also get your tickets to regular live shows. September the 23rd, we are at the Tampa Improv for 2 shows. Get your tickets. The early show is getting pretty close to sold out. So late shows there. They're going to be 2 different shows, so come see both shows. And then Orlando, the 24th of September, we're going to be at the Orlando Improv.
Right.
2 shows there that night as well. So get your tickets
Make
right
it a
now.
night.
ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of your bonus materials.
Yeah.
And we put out a lot of bonus material. For your anybody $5 or above, a cup of coffee a month. You're going to get 2 new episodes every other week, and you're going to support a couple of nice guys. So it's good stuff
affordable.
here. This week, what you're going to get is for Crime and Sports, you're going to get Sex Scandals Part 2.
Yeah.
Where we talk about that nice young lady's thesis paper on having sex with as many athletes of her college that she could, and then rating them more than anybody on Yelp ever thought to rate anybody. It's pretty impressive. And a couple other scandals as well. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about that Most Dangerous Animal documentary on Netflix, where a guy thinks his long-lost father is the Zodiac Killer and puts a lot of things together and makes some connections that aren't there and writes a book about it, makes it his whole identity, and then it's all a house of cards that falls, and it's a mess. And it's just
cards, shit, same thing.
His dad wasn't a serial killer. He wasn't busy serial killing. He just wasn't around. That's all there is to it. But that we'll find out where like the state of that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the state of that investigation. It was Cat Stevens there. It was the Cats in the Cradle for him. Then we'll talk about the other suspects and how that investigation is going. That is Patreon.com. I forgot. I was like, where am I? Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. That said, let's get to this because it's nuts.
Let's do it.
It's time to sit back, everybody, clear the lungs, and shout, shut up!
Shut up and give me murder.
Let's do this, Jimmy, shall we?
All right.
Let's go on a trip, shall let's hit the road. We are going out of the country this week.
Oh, shit.
Heading up to Canada.
Get your passports.
Let's go up to Canada, baby. We are going to Portage or Portage or however they say it. I don't know.
Portage.
Depends on how French you are, probably. Portage la Prairie, Manitoba. So,
in Manitoba.
Manitoba, for all of our
Deep
Americans,
in Canada.
Our Manitoba it sits above North Dakota and North Dakota and Minnesota. It kind of splits the borders between those two states. If you drove the border up, it would kind of go right through Manitoba. So that's where it is. It's their kind of plainsy area up there.
The northest of Carolinas.
Yeah, the furthermost North Carolina that we have. So, Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's a population about 13,000 people here.
Okay.
It is called the City of Possibilities.
Yeah.
It seems like there's not a ton of possibilities from when they're all fulfilled. Let's just put it that way. I don't know doesn't seem like there's a lot of hope here, but the income, median household income is about $57,000 a year, so it's pretty similar to the U.S., and the median home cost here is about $224,000 a year, too. It's not bad. It seems like, semi-affordable. People have been here for a long time. They found evidence here, a little history of people being here for the last 12,000 years. So
holy shit.
Long time they've been here. During World War II, the Royal Canadian Air Force constructed Canadian Forces Base in this area to support the air program. And also this place is commercial cultivation of cannabis here was obviously it was banned in Canada in the 30s, but in 1928 they grew 1,640 acres of industrial hemp in the whole country, and 1,200 acres of that was right here in this town. So
Manitoba, getting after it.
At least smelled good in this town anyway. Had a good scent. Reviews of this town. Now, this is there's no the same equivalent to Niche or Sperling's for straight reviews of a town. So I had to find someone who was asking on Reddit, should I move to this town? So here's some people giving reviews on Reddit. This is okay. So here's an honest to God truth about Portage. It isn't all that bad. That's good, I guess, to hear.
What does that mean?
It's just like any other medium-sized town/city. You have your drug problems, bad parts of town you don't want to live in. It's only 13,000 people. There shouldn't be that many bad parts of town at this rate, right?
There should be at least a bad part of town.
Yeah, those 4 houses over there are kind of pieces of shit. but
stay away from those guys.
Neighborhood gets better. Parts of town you just don't want to live in. Just in general, bad points, but it's also a lot of good things. A good recreational center, a lot of extracurricular activities, multiple schools depending on the area you live in. It's got the religious community, but it's not overpowering. That's helpful. You are a short drive from Winnipeg, 45 minutes to the outskirts of Winnipeg. Well, if you have Winnipeg right there, what else can you want? A Canadian town that can't hold a hockey team. That sounds like you loses a hockey team to Phoenix. That's a hotbed, obviously. Literally, they're like, no, I think the desert where no one ever has ice skated unless they're from, fucking Buffalo that lives
Elsewhere,
there.
Yeah.
We should move them there rather than here. So I don't know much about Winnipeg, but
a place that can support ice all year round.
Nope.
I'm going to head to a place that can never support ice.
There you go. So you can do all your shopping and recreation that you can't get or don't want to do in Portage. Housing is relatively inexpensive compared to all the other communities bordering Winnipeg. I'm talking $100,000 or more difference. I've lived here all my life, moved to Winnipeg for a few years and decided to move back, and I don't regret it.
Okay.
So they love it. Okay. Now, this next person, not as much here.
This one regrets it.
I grew up in Portage la Prairie, or whatever the fuck it is, and go back there often. It was safe 30 years ago. Now it's a crime-ridden town full of meth. Oh, so it's just like America. So it just goes right up the gut there. Perfect. Don't believe me? Do your own research. I would not ever live there again. All capital letters with not, by the way. You want a nice town with lots of amenities, including a school, hospital, and close to Winnipeg? Try Stonewall.
Oh.
Different town, not this fucking
the mayor
town.
Of Stonewall right now?
I think this is, Come on over. It's the Stonewall, the city of big shoulders. We'll take you on. Come on in here. Let's do it. Now, very quickly, we'll do the things to do at the Portage Potato Festival.
Who do you think you are?
Idaho, apparently.
Is this Boise, Canada?
It's a celebration of our favorite veggie, the potato.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
It's everybody's favorite.
Well, at the event lineup in 2022, the event lineup they have, it was 7 o'clock on Friday, August 5th. They had Fernie Turnbull was there. So, are these potato-themed bands, I wonder? Do they only sing songs about tater tots and shit? I like waffle cut. That's a big hit there. At the Bivers, Biivvers. Bivers. Then there's a baby spud contest, which I'll show you a picture of. You dress your kid up like a potato. It's fucking weird. Then there is what is this? Oh my God! There's Edgar and Bruce. I don't know who they are, but I don't want to watch it. Hicktown is the name of another band, which is self-explanatory. The Barry G Band is playing.
Oh, Barry.
Got to have him there. And then also, maybe my favorite, Mr. Richard Magic and Music Ventriloquism Act. Mr.
What?
Dick. Mr. Dick and my puppet.
He's not good at anything, and he just does all of it?
All of it. Magic, music. I got a puppet I'll fucking throw in there if I can't get over with the other shit. Why not? Then there's bubble soccer. I don't know what the fuck that is. Do you?
Is it where you...
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's where you get in a bubble and you fucking have livestock push you around.
Here, move over. Check this out. I'll move the screen here so you can see it. The 2022 Baby Spud Contest.
Yikes, I hate that so much.
We want to see your best dressed baby spuds, it says, which sounds disgusting. That sounds like they want jizz. That's a baby.
What the fuck?
It's in a sack, a potato sack with 15 pounds across its ass. And there are...
It looks like hair curlers.
They made those are potatoes that they're like on a hairnet thing that they put over this baby's head. So this baby's wearing a helmet of potatoes, of raw potatoes. I hope that baby won. So that's where we are right now. We're here.
Wild ass place, man.
That said, let's talk about a murder.
All right, let's do it.
Holy Jesus, what the shit happened there? That's one of the weirdest things ever. I'd love to delve further into that potato festival.
That festival alone is worth it.
There's so much to talk about there. So now right away I have to tell you that I'm going to probably mispronounce a name or two, not only of the town, but I'm going to mispronounce a name because one of the people in the story is from China. Now, so I might not pronounce his name that well, and I'm trying, but in my defense, I would assume a guy in China would probably have trouble pronouncing some Italian guy from New York's name as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to fucking hand it off in exchange with this one. Sorry, everybody. So
Even Steven.
pronounce Pietragallo. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you. Exactly.
Spell it.
We'll fucking go back and forth. So anyway, let's talk about a murder. Let's do this. We need to go back in time to 2008 for this one. So not too far back.
Pretty recent, yeah.
This is absolutely bonkers. Okay, July 30th, 2008. Here we go. We're on a Greyhound bus right now.
Oh, boy.
And on this Greyhound bus is a man named Timothy Richard McLean, McLean. McLean. He's 22 years old, and his girlfriend's about 4 months pregnant right now.
Okay.
She's not with him. He's by himself because he's a carny. He's a carnival worker who is returning home to Manitoba after working a fair in Alberta.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's on his way home there as he was a summer carnival worker at Edmonton's Capital X like Expo, I guess.
Yeah.
And was planning to work at Vancouver's Pacific National Exhibition as well pretty soon. So he's all ready to go. He's real outgoing, old Timmy here.
Yeah.
He's either Timmy to his friends or Tim Jr. to his family. Because, of course, he's a junior, obviously. Yeah. So he's known as also quite a bit of a ladies' man. He's a ladies' man, Carney. And he's a short guy, too. It's tiny.
He's a tiny Tim.
Well, that's what they call him at work, actually.
Really?
There's a quote of we call him Tiny Tim. They all love him though. It's not no one's picking on him. That's just his nickname. It's
right.
Certain industries, whatever your perceived shortcoming is, that's your nickname, and that's how it works. It's
nobody
like
likes those, by the way.
No. Nobody likes
especially when they're like, there was a guy at my work named Jimmie, and I was Jimmie, and they called him Big Jimmie because he was 6'8". You don't have to call me Mini Jimmie, okay?
Yeah, we get it.
We have Big Jimmie. I'm just regular sized Jimmie.
No, that's not how it works, though.
When I stand next to him, though, I look like a mini Jimmie.
Why is it only the most terrible jobs also? So it's like, this sucks. I'm outside in the sun. I hate every fucking day of my life. I got to be here at 6 a.m, and you're going to break my fucking balls about every shortcoming I have, too. Nobody who's like a CEO of a bank has to do this. You know what I mean? Right. No one walks in as CEO of a bank and they're like, "What's up, shrivel dick?" Like, that never happens. Ever. Oh, it's okay. The vice president just calls me shrivel dick sometimes because we were in a pool and my bathing suit fell down and it was cold. And, no, that doesn't happen. It's like, this job sucks. Let's make it worse. Cool. Sounds good. Why do we do that to ourselves?
Mini. Oh, my God.
That is fucking terrible. So either way, he's Tiny Tim. This bus he departed Edmonton on a Greyhound bus, no less. Greyhound bus 1170.
Jesus.
That sounds bleak right there. Headed from Edmonton to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
On the Yellowhead Highway, and you go through Saskatchewan, apparently, and there you are. He is in the back of the bus, as a good carny would be, like a kid in high school. He's like a junior, and he's like, I think I'm good for the back of the bus this year.
That's a tough way to live when your face is back of the Greyhound bus.
It's one row from the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're smelling other people's shit at some point. Greyhound shit.
Yeah.
It's not good. They're not making good food decisions. They're making bad travel decisions. They're not making good. Good food decisions. What if they ate at a bus station and then they're going to get on with you and then you got to sit there? Fuck. So at 6:55 p.m. that day, after a stop, the bus departed from a stop in Erickson, Manitoba, with a couple passengers getting off, couple passengers getting on. One of the passengers getting on is another man. Vince is his first name. Wei Guang, I'm going to say. Wei Guang, Weiguang. Wei Guang?
Yeah.
Lee is his last name. L-I. Okay. That's Lee, right? I believe.
Chun-Li, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Lee. But I've also seen L-E-E over there being Lee. So what the fuck do I know? I know very little about how Chinese names work. I'm sorry. I apologize. But
take it up with Sean if you got a problem with it.
Yeah, I have no idea. And this one here, Vince Lee, we'll call him here. And he's born in China. I'm not just saying his name's Chinese. He's born in China in April 1968. So he's about 41 years old at this time. And like we said, Tim is 22, by the way. So he's got his whole carny goodness ahead of him. Years and years of carnying. So Vince here, he was born in Dandong. See, we're not mature enough to talk about Chinese cities. We're really not. The 11-year-old boy in us hears a word, we hear Dandong, and we're like, who's Dan and where's his dong? We can't think of anything else. It's just...
Everybody with a dad named Dan is from Dandong.
Yeah, Dandong. They're all from Dandong. That's just a wild fucking... Aren't we all from Dandong, really, in the end? Dandong kind of stands for all of us. See, we're not mature enough.
Nope.
Immediately, we're like whispering shit in the classroom, trying not to get in trouble. And the two of us, imagine if we were ever in a class together.
Dear Lord.
We would have been in so much trouble. We would have been in the most trouble ever.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We would have been vicious. A terrible, terrible team. That would have been not. Thank God we didn't meet till later, honestly. For the rest of the world, thankfully, we didn't meet till later because we'd both be in prison probably.
That would have cost me my graduation, I'm sure of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would have been farther away from graduation. Even worse, it would have been. It would have been a disaster. So... anyway, this guy, though, he graduates in 1992 from the Wuhan Institute of Technology.
Oh.
So, he's from there with a Bachelor's of Science in Computers.
Oh.
So,
Vince
Vince Lee's.
Fella.
Vince Lee's a smart guy. From 94 to 98, Vince worked in Beijing as a computer software engineer.
Oh.
Doing his thing. He's also studying English the whole time. He's doing this because he wants to end up emigrating to Canada. That's his goal.
Okay.
Wants to get to Canada, so he's working on his English. He's doing shit with computers. Yeah. And he finds a wife in 1995.
Great.
Marries a young woman named Anna in 95 in China. So he's ready to roll. He's like getting everything in a row. Okay, got my education, I got some money, got a job, learning English. Get myself a wife, and then I'm going to go take all of this to Canada. That's the goal here. All right. So he does this, and he comes over on June 11th, 2001. He comes to Canada.
Okay.
So there he is, and he will later on become a Canadian citizen and everything.
Great.
November 7th, 2006, he becomes a Canadian citizen. He's very enthusiastic about being in Canada from all accounts. Yeah. Very, very enthusiastic. Loves it.
Does it fall apart? What puts him on a fucking Greyhound bus?
Well, that's the thing, is when you're other countries, for some reason, I don't know why, and it's not all of them, but some places, for some reason, like you'll hear this all the time, like it's almost like an old joke, like, oh, you'll see a cab driver and he'll be like, I was an obstetrician in Poland, you know what I mean? Right. It's a weird... Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like a weird thing. So this country, it doesn't translate sometimes with immigrants. I'm not sure why, or I don't know if it's not the same. I have no idea. I'm not even going to venture a guess because it doesn't have anything to do with this.
A guy working at Chipotle that used to be a veterinarian in Mexico.
That's what I mean. You're like, how does that work? The animals are the same, and dogs are still dogs in Mexico. What's going on here? Why can't we do that? So I don't know if there's an accreditation problem. I have no idea how it works. But either way, he's over here doing his thing. They find a home near downtown Winnipeg shortly after coming over. He's hired as a forklift driver. That's what he gets over here. And she starts working at a few different Chinese food restaurants as a waitress.
Okay.
Anna. So they're both working. They're hardworking immigrants. They're trying to make a life. They had a goal. They're trying to make a life. They begin occasionally attending church, a Baptist church.
Oh?
Which, because they didn't know how to meet like people. They didn't know how to meet like Canadian people, like just people that would be around. And then they just wanted to have friends, and they didn't really know anybody. And apparently they were saying there wasn't a huge, Chinese born population where they were living. In that particular place. So they were kind of, They were just looking to spread their social circle out, and they're speaking English, and they're like, we want to fucking, ingrain ourselves in the
We're
culture
part of this
here.
too.
Yeah, so they attend.
Canada.
Oh, Canada. So they also wanted social stuff. And Lee also, Vince, he gets a job at the church as well, and it's attached schoolhouse. He's a night custodian, so he picks up some extra work there also.
2 jobs now. God,
he's working 2 jobs.
Hard. Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the people that knew him said, quote, he was always a little bit quiet, kind of reserved. I think that's because he was self-conscious about his English. Everybody said that. He tended to talk, he spoke in broken English, and he tended to talk in like fast bursts trying to get it out because he would. English is a really hard language to learn, and
sure is.
Chinese looks really hard too, and to know anything about both of them is impressive to me. In any
Watching
aspect.
anybody speaks Chinese fast, it's mind-boggling. I don't know how they do it.
Whoa, yeah, it seems fast. I'm sure it's the same as.
It's just a normal cadence.
It's just Bone Thugs,
Right.
like it's, I don't know.
It's just busy bone.
Yeah, that's all it is. So he said, though, eventually, though, the people who ran the church, like the pastor there, they ended up being friends with the Lees. Yeah. And he warmed up to them eventually, and they said, eventually they figured out he's a nice guy. He's just self-conscious because he speaks English worse than anyone else around. And this woman said that, quote, we'd play cards and dominoes and games like that together. Okay. So they'd all hang out. And his English is improving a ton hanging out with more Canadians, which is helpful, Yeah. I assume if I wanted to learn Chinese, being around a bunch of Chinese people that were speaking it would probably be the best way to do that.
Sure. Yeah.
Rather than reading it or something. So he would enjoy socializing. They went on dinner parties, to dinner parties. They even went on trips with another couple to a lake a couple of times. So
really,
they're really getting into everything. He becomes a citizen, so he really wants to be Joe Canada.
Yeah,
I don't know if. We would always say Joe America. I don't know what
Joe Six-Pack.
I don't know what the Canadian equivalent of that is. I don't know. It's like
Francois.
Pierre Maple Roll. I don't know what it would be. Pierre
Francois Poutine.
Pierre Poutine, I think, would be the name there for him.
That's pretty good, yeah.
You got to have alliteration in it. Pierre Poutine, I believe, is our guy.
His name's Vince Lee. I want him to meet another guy named Tommy Neal and another guy named Mick Six.
I would
and
love
just have everybody from Motley Crue with backward names.
That would be wonderful. That'd be a great band idea. Anybody out there, if you're looking to start a band, you don't have a lot of original ideas, just be a Motley Crue cover band and play.
Change everybody. Yeah.
Change all your
names around.
Have the Tommy Lee guy play bass, what I mean? Have the Vince Neil guy drum, just do it that way and switch them all around. It'd be fucking hilarious. Nobody would know what was going on.
I'll go to a state fair for that.
I would too. Like I saw the Bad Company cover band at the Seafood Festival in Beacon, New York that we went to a couple weeks ago. And it was like 92 degrees out and these guys were really giving it hard, and I'm just like, these poor bastards. No one's looking at them at all, and they were good. They weren't bad. They were good in terms of they sounded like Bad Company for whatever that's worth. That's good, That's what they were going for.
Right.
Kudos to you. Anyway, so here we are. He's working at the Grant Memorial Church for about 6 months here. Him and his wife are making ends meet, and all that sort of thing. The pastor here, Tom Castor, the pastor. I love this.
Tom Castor?
Tom Castor, and it's exactly pastor with a C. So wow. Castor the pastor. He had no choice in the matter. Pierre Poutine and fucking Castor the pastor. This is great. Oh, man. He said about Lee, I think he would occasionally feel frustrated with not being able to communicate or understand, but we have a very patient staff, and he seemed to respond well. And so said he seemed to enjoy his time there and everything like that. Now, they want to move to Edmonton in 2006. And he goes first. Vince goes first and leaves his wife in Winnipeg, and then she joins him later when he sets shit up. I don't know how that. Sometimes people do that. I don't know. Now he has an array of jobs. We're talking Walmart. He works at McDonald's.
Jesus.
He's doing newspaper deliveries. So
does he want to be Canadian or American?
that's what it's. Yeah, I was going to say, if he starts smoking meth, we're just going to slap a trucker hat on him and give him a fucking trailer in Indiana, and I think we have ourselves a new resident. You know what I mean? There you go, buddy. West Virginia's this way. Come on. You'll fit right in. Ever snort pills off the back of a toilet? No? Well, we are going to get you all Americaned up.
We're going to show you a thing or two.
That's right, buddy. Here's a big fat sandwich and some fucking pills to snort off the back of a goddamn toilet bowl in a West Virginia bar/casino. Come on, buddy. All aboard. So anyway, he's doing all this shit, though. He's working hard. His boss at the delivery center, a guy named Vincent Augert, he described him as very, very hardworking. Very hardworking man. And he said hardworking, almost stereotypical. No, that's not what he said. He said 4 weeks before this bus is going on, Lee got fired from Walmart because he got in an argument with other employees. I don't know over what. I don't know what they were arguing over. He wanted to roll back the prices a little more, and they didn't want to. I don't know what the deal was, but
it's not far enough.
Yeah, he got fired from that, and then he wanted to take time off of his delivery job to go to Winnipeg for a job interview, he said. Okay. So that's how he ends up on the bus. He's trying to make a better life at a better job interview. Mm-hmm. So on the bus here, Lee had been traveling because we were talking about him and McLean both being on the bus at the same time on July 30th. Right. This trip started on July 29th for Lee. About 6 p.m., he got off the bus in Erickson, Manitoba, with at least 3 pieces of luggage. So he got on a little later, so this is interesting. He stays in Erickson the whole day and night, and then the whole rest of the night, and then he gets on the bus there the next day. So it's like 24 hours he stays in Erickson. He had 3 pieces of luggage. He stayed the night on a bench next to a grocery store that night.
That's not a fucking stay.
I don't know if all the buses out were full or what the hell was going on, but that's what he chooses to do. Him and his luggage sleeping next to the grocery store.
Good.
He was seen at 3 a.m. Sitting upright with his eyes open. So he was just sitting there, I guess, and hard to sleep. So the next morning, he's still on the bench, hanging out. Yeah. He digs up a laptop that he had that's reasonably new, pretty new laptop. And there's a 15-year-old boy walking by, a kid named Darren Beatty, and he just says, "You want to buy this laptop? It's $60.
What?
Yeah, so bargain. It's a pretty new laptop. This kid's like, shit, yeah, I'll take the laptop. Yeah. So why not? So after that, he's sitting around. He waits until the 6:55 bus, I guess, to leave Erickson, and that's when he boards this bus where Tim McLean is 1 row from the bathroom. So there you go. Here we go. He gets on the bus. Now Lee's a pretty tall guy too. He's way bigger than McLean anyway. Right. Pretty tall guy. He's got shaved head, like short hair. He's wearing sunglasses, and he originally sits in the front of the bus. Lee gets on, sits down. He ends up moving though to the back of the bus after a rest stop. Okay. There's a pisser stop. And don't they have a bathroom? What do they need rest for? I don't know what's going on. The drivers have to stop?
Maybe. I don't know.
I guess the driver would need to pee after a while.
On that small compartment, that can't be easy.
Yeah, and the driver has to piss once in a while, too. There's probably rules about having to stop every so often for 15 minutes and
I'll bet you're right.
Stretch your driving legs or something. I don't know how this works, especially. So Lee ends up he sits in the front at first. There are 37 passengers on total. 37 passengers and a bus driver. That's how this is working.
Thing hold, do you think?
A big old I don't know.
37 seems like a lot.
It seems like a lot, but they said it's not packed. So
I
think there's a lot of spaces open and seats and shit like that. So either way, after the stop, Lee heads back and ends up sitting near McLean, like across right next to him, sort of. You know what I mean? Right. So apparently McLean, just kind of nodded to him, whatever, just kind of chilling. And then McLean put his headphones on and leaned up against the window and fell asleep. There he is. So you want to sleep through a Greyhound bus through fucking Manitoba. You want to sleep through that. That sounds
do
like
anything.
you're not just looking out the window going, oh, the glory of the potato fields. Wow, they're so golden this time of year. Aren't they? Like, no. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So
it's not easy to be on those.
No, absolutely not. So people are like, it's half people are napping, some people are reading, whatever. There's a movie playing, actually. They play movies on Greyhounds. I had no idea they did that.
What do they play?
The Legend of Zorro is what they were playing.
That's what they play.
It's 2009. It was the 2005 Anthony fucking, or not Anthony. What the fuck is Antonio Anthony.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony.
Anthony Banderas.
Hey, Anthony Banderas, come over here. Hey, your ma said you wasn't around today. Why you around today? No.
Anthony Banderas.
Anthony Banderas. Oh, my God. Catherine Zeta-Jones is in that. So either way, he's part of the knockoff Motley Crue. Anthony Banderas.
He is.
So either way, that's what they're watching. All is calm. Half the people are sleeping. Half the people are watching Zorro. Some people are dicking around, whatever it is. Yeah, it's a bleak scene on the Greyhound,
It really
man.
is.
So, and a carny sleeps against a window.
Fuck.
It's interesting. So at this point, out of nowhere, Vince Lee pulls out of, we assume, his bag. He just pulls a huge knife out.
Okay.
A giant knife. The man in front of them, this is what he said. His name is Garrett Catan, and he said he heard a, quote, blood-curdling scream.
Oh, boy.
And he said, quote, I turned around, and the guy sitting right behind me was standing up and stabbing the other guy with a big Rambo knife, right in the throat repeatedly.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Vince just stood up with this giant Rambo knife, as it's put. I mean, the guy's 3 feet away. That's what he says. And just starts hacking Tim McLean in the neck and throat while McLean's sleeping against the window pane.
Oh, dear God.
No, totally unprovoked. They never had a conversation. They never had any contact, really. They've just been sitting there. And he starts doing this. It gets way worse, okay? As shocking as
Blood
this
is all over people right now.
Oh, man, it's spraying.
Oh, God.
everywhere.
In
all
an enclosed space like a fucking Greyhound bus, it's got to be
on the windows
down
of the bus.
Yeah, just
all over Anthony's face up on the screen. It's fucking disgusting.
Zorro's got a new mask.
Oh man, it is nasty shit. So it's
this
horrible.
This is terrible.
Yeah. So they start. I guess McLean, even though he's being stabbed, he's awoken in the adrenaline of being attacked and fighting for your life. He's trying to fight the guy off, apparently. He's taken, I mean, carnies don't take no shit. You can probably, you've had to fight some people off at the carnival. I'm not trying to make fun at this point. I'm literally, he can probably handle himself. You know what I mean? So he's trying to fight Lee off of this whole deal. And while he's doing that, obviously, as soon as this happens, the bus driver pulls over the side of the road. They don't just, what's going on back there? Like looking at the big fucking turning up Zorro. Just turn it up a little bit.
This is my favorite part.
I don't want to hear that. So no, none of that. The bus driver pulls right over. So while this attack is going on, everybody takes off and tries to get the fuck out of the bus, obviously. Yeah. This isn't a scene you really want to be around. I don't want to stick around and see what happens.
Is he going to get us all?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'm going to sit and just watch it like it's on TV. No. So Catan also said, that witness to this, he said it was amazing how calm Lee was. Mm-hmm. He said, quote, there was no rage or anything. He was like a robot stabbing the guy.
What the fuck?
Oh, my God. Okay, so he stabs and stabs and stabs. And everybody, I hope you're... I hope you're not currently eating. Let's just put it that way. He stabs and stabs and stabs. Okay, he kills McLean apparently. Yeah. Hopefully he's dead, because from then he takes his giant quote Rambo knife and begins to saw McLean's head off.
Jesus Christ!
Right there in fucking second from the back row of the Greyhound.
Right on the bus.
Right on the bus. Right in the seat they were sitting. Imagine if there's someone in the shitter while this is going on.
Oh, dear Lord!
You'd never come out. You'd figure out a way to get out through the fucking drain. I mean,
I'd crawl out like Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can. I'd go through the toilet.
Yeah, like Frank and Always Sunny when he's tripping. He's trying to put his foot in it. This is insane. He actually cuts his head all the way off of his body.
Yeah.
He completely decapitates him at that point. Then the passengers are outside the bus. You can see everything through the fucking windows. A lot of the windows are open because it's, warm out. It's July. He holds the head up by the hair and shows everybody.
Why?
Displays it to all the
What is
onlookers.
Happening? Why is he doing it?
Okay, so he does that. Well, that's another question that we'll get to. But right now, he's not done doing it yet.
This is a weird way to earn your citizenship.
He's already got it. This is a weird way to fucking protest your firing from a Walmart, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Catan, the witness, he said, quote, I got sick after I saw the head thing. Some people were puking and some were crying. Some people were just in shock. The guy just looked at us and dropped the head on the ground, totally calm.
Wow.
This is fucking disturbing. So the police are called while he's doing all this, because it took him a minute to get the head off. I mean, as soon as they got off the bus, the police are called, so they're coming pretty quick. There's a guy on a bus fucking stabbing somebody to death will draw a crowd. So by the time they get there, he's got the head off already, and of poor Tim McLean. And a police officer, they have their recording of the tape of their radio going back and forth. And Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers refer to the attacker as Badger. It's like his code name. I don't know why.
What? We get code names in Canada?
Suspect will work fine, probably, but I guess Badger. It's more Canadian Badger. It's a nature thing. They tried Beaver, but everybody giggled a lot, and this guy's from Dandong, and that didn't work, so they're like, you know what, let's just go with Badger. So Badger here, they say that Badger's armed with a knife and scissors and is, quote, defiling the body at the front of the bus as we speak.
He's doing more to it?
Yeah, he's not near done yet, Jimmy. What
the shit?
On the tape, which is like a minute and a half, about the officers go back and forth about his movement until one of the guys says, and I quote, Badger's at the back of the bus hacking off pieces and eating them.
Oh, wow.
He starts eating him. Just he's cutting pieces off.
A raw person.
Who's barely dead. And it's not like there's blood. He's covered in blood. The whole place is a fucking bloodbath. It's like the hallway in The Shining, probably, for fuck's sake.
What happened to Vince?
And he is eating this man at this point, this headless man. So apparently, during all of this, there was two men, the bus driver and another man, we'll talk about, a long-haul truck driver named Christopher Alguire, who happened to be right there. He pulled his truck over when he saw a big commotion on the side of the road, and he was like, what's going on? And then the guy showed everyone the head, and he's like, holy shit. So apparently they were trying to they wanted to like get on the bus and help see if they could do anything here. And they said that, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. So the truck driver, Alguire, says that he had like a meter-long metal rod in his truck. He's like, I'm a big trucker. I got a metal rod. I could probably fucking whack this knife out of his hand and beat this guy to death in the fucking bus if I really wanted to. So he had been loading a haul of metal pipes from Alberta back to Manitoba. So, I mean, you need a pipe. There you go. And he saw the bus, and there you go. So he saw passengers running away screaming. And someone yelled at him through his window as he passed by. That's why he stopped, that there was a man stabbing someone on board. Like, can you call with your radio? Someone help. Right. So he pulled over, grabbed the metal bar. What a trucker thing to do. Pull the truck over, jump out, hold the metal bar, walk into the back like, who's got a fucking, I'll bash somebody's skull.
Somebody needs a beating, I can dole it.
That is like in every movie that has a trucker in it anywhere. At some point, they jump out with a metal rod in their hand, ready for action. So this is perfect.
3-foot pipe.
With a 3-foot pipe. I got a whole load of these, too, so don't you fuck with me. I'll go get more from the back.
Ain't the only one.
I got a semi full.
Came from. Yeah.
I got 4 ton of pipe back here. Don't mess with me. So he grabbed the metal bar, which is used to secure shit on his truck, and he sprinted for the bus. And he said the driver was, kind of in shock. So they had a second driver, I guess, that was like the backup driver here that was there. Another Greyhound stopped apparently to see what was going on. That driver got out. This guy's like, hey, there's some crazy shit going on in there. I got a metal pipe. Let's get it on and go in there.
Want to trade buses, sir?
Yeah. Why don't you just forget everyone on his bus? Fuck this. So Alguire also said he was familiar with weapons and martial arts. So he was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. But I guess the driver holding the door closed, I guess they were trying to keep it. He was trying to keep it closed from the other side, and they were trying to keep people out. He was trying to keep them out. Lee was. So they ended up getting in the bus. These two, they board the bus to see if there's any passengers trapped. They said Alguire's got the fucking metal rod standing up. They're in the back of the bus. He's eating a man. Lee's eating a fucking man. They said they saw him leaning over the body, hacking at its neck with a knife. And they were like, holy fucking shit. Then the man stood up and looked at them as they came in down the aisle with the head in his hand. He was like, I have this head, so I don't know if you want to come any closer. So he said he had a split decision to make at that point, Alguire. Right. I don't think you have a decision. His head's already gone. This is none of my... I'm not saving anybody here. What, am I just going to fight this guy?
You just put yourself in a dangerous position.
People get paid for this shit.
Yeah.
Like not me. People with guns get paid for this shit.
They got much better protection than a fucking bar.
I mean, yeah, I get it that you're tough and everything, but Christ. So he said, quote, at 10 feet away, it's a deadly weapon beach. You can throw it, meaning the knife, he said. So he said, so fast and so hard. If the guy had any experience in throwing, he could stick it in my chest very quickly, or in my throat, or in my head. Oh, God. He said, my duty was to make sure that no one else was exposed to his rage. Your duty? You don't have your duty is to get those pipes to Manitoba, sir. That's your fucking duty. You're a trucker. It's a nice thought. It's a nice thought. But once the guy's dead, you go, whoop, okay, the fucking, cows out of the barn or horses out of the fucking whatever the hell it is.
Not my pig, not my farm. Also, you've made this your duty. You didn't.
Yeah, no one asked. People just said, there's a guy stabbing someone. And he's like, have rod, we'll travel. Let's go. So
It won't work for food.
Yeah, so then they jumped off the bus and slammed the door closed. That's what he decided. My duty was to make sure no one was exposed to his rage, but I changed my mind and jumped off the bus. By the way, if someone has a knife, my first thought is never they're going to throw it at me.
Right,
a knife is a fucking close range instrument usually. Yeah. It's never what is he, a ninja? Did he think like, well, he looks Chinese. What if he could be a ninja? And I've seen them movies where they'll just throw it at you and it'll stick. It's not a star, but I feel like he could do it.
I know martial arts, but I saw him and I knew he was from the Orient. And I was
yes,
like, I'm
damn.
Overmatched.
I just bowed and walked away. That's what I did. So, Jesus Christ. Alguire then said he walked up to the door and put his head right up to my face through the glass and waved the knife at me once they came out.
Menacing.
Then he said he turned around and put the head on the floor in front of me so I could see it. Like right in front of the door. Like, there you go. If you want to come back in, you can fuck with this head. He also said about Lee's eyes, they were empty. It was like staring into a black hole. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah. Then Lee hops in the driver's seat of the bus and tries to crank it up. Now he's going to go. Now we're going to have a bus chase, but the driver had hit the emergency disable switch, so it's disabled. He can't start it. He can't make it go. Yeah. Otherwise, he'd have to keep it above 55 miles an hour, which would have been really difficult for everybody.
Nothing you can do if you don't have.
And then Dennis Hopper got on board. It's disturbing. So I don't hear about Keanu anywhere in this situation at all.
Pop quiz hot shot.
So then Lee gave up on that and was like, well, I guess fucking never mind driving. So he just went back to the body and began severing off other body parts, just cutting some things off, eating some things, just kind of having like making mud pies back there with a human being, like a fucking psychopath.
Trimming the Christmas turkey.
That's all. So at 8:30 p.m., this is about an hour and a half after this whole thing started. Or no, this is shortly after it started. I apologize. That's when the cops got there and all that sort of thing. When the cops got there, they got there right after the truck driver and the bus driver had run off the bus, and that's when they saw him sitting back there eating shit. So they said, people are throwing up all over the side of the road. There's just people covered in blood, crying and throwing up on the side of the road. So it's quite the fucking scene. By 9 o'clock, the police are in a standoff with him. Wow. They've summoned special negotiators and the heavily armed tactical unit. They might have to take this guy off by force. Yeah. Lee would taunt the police and would alternately pace the length of the bus back and forth, and then would go back to McLean and begin cutting pieces off.
Oh, my God.
And eating them in front of the cops and going, look at this, and ripping pieces of flesh apart with his teeth. This is
what happened, Vince.
This is fucking insane. So they observed him eating everything. When they tried to talk to him, to negotiate, hey, when are you going to come off, bud? You almost done there?
Yeah.
He said, quote, I have to stay on the bus forever. Forever. So that's all there is to it.
That's not sustainable, my friend.
I mean, it's really not. It's a very short-sighted plan, but that's his plan. I have to stay on forever. So this goes on till 1:30 a.m., the standoff, right? He then tries to escape from the bus by breaking through a window and running away, a bus window. Yeah, he got tired of it.
I have to stay here forever or 5 hours.
Or a few hours more, because there's a show I want to watch that's on pretty soon.
1 a.m., he can't take it anymore.
Yeah, so they go after him. They have to tase him twice to get him to chill the fuck out. They handcuff him and they get him in the cop car, finally, after all that. When they search him, Jimmie.
Oh, no.
They search him.
He put stuff in his pockets.
They find a white plastic bag, like a shopping bag, like you get at the grocery store, crumpled up in his pocket. They pull it out. Inside the bag is an ear, a nose, and the mouth, and Tim's mouth.
He took them with him.
And put them in a plastic bag, put them in his pocket, and was like, well, now that I have this, he did like a Steve Martin in The Jerk. Yeah. He was like, all I need is this remote control and this paddleball game.
And then nose and this mouth.
Burst through the fucking window and was like, as long as I have these to munch on later, I'm good. And tried to take off.
Shit?
It's fucking insane.
Inexplicable.
They get on the bus, and there are parts of him cut apart
All
that
over
are
the place.
in other plastic bags. He just has plastic bags full of flesh, like sitting in different places on the bus that he just was cutting apart. His tongue was also in.
Of course it was.
His tongue was in his other pocket. He didn't have that in the plastic bag. He just kind of He was in a hurry. He had to pocket the tongue real quick. This is horrific. They never found Tim's heart or eyes.
What?
And they assume that's what Lee ate.
Yeah.
Because they never found them anywhere.
That's
Heart
crazy.
or eyes. Holy shit. So after that, Greyhound representatives took the other passengers to a local mall to replace their clothes. Come on, everybody. Let's go to the mall after that.
Let's go to the Gap, everybody. Let's shop.
Everybody up for some Auntie Anne's pretzels? Come on, guys. Let's go. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to go to Banana Republic
Pepsi.
now. This is terrible. This is awful. Take us to the hospital, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, man. So that's what they do. They finally arrived in Winnipeg at 3:30 the next day. That's the saddest bus arrival of all time. That
Can you
group just as
imagine?
horrified, puke on their chins.
Yeah.
Holy
Wearing
shit.
Saskatchewan shirts.
Oh, God. So Lee goes to court, and he's charged with second-degree murder. And they said, we're going to get you a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Would you like this or that? Do you want a lawyer? And his response to, do you want a lawyer, is, please kill me. So that's what he says, which is not part of the Canadian, I don't believe, their processes. I don't believe.
Okay.
Well, I don't believe you can ask to be executed at your initial hearing.
your questioning?
And then they're like, all right, take him out back. I don't think that's how it works.
Feed him to the moose.
Yeah, that's a feed him to the badgers. That's why we call them that. I don't know why we gave Canadians fucking panhandle accents, but we did.
It's being handled as such, so it's fine.
It's panhandle. Hang on to your hat, Jimmy boy. So he appears in court with bandages all over him because he cut himself all up while he did this as well. He's got bruises on him. He did a bunch of weird shit in there. He's fucking nuts. So he's being held there. He's going to have to go a psychological assessment, undergo one of those, obviously, to determine whether he's fit to stand trial. Okay. Now, reaction to Tim dying. This is from a fellow Carney. Okay. Yeah. Fellow Carney said she worked with him a long time, said, quote, I was like, I hope to God there's another Tim McLean. He was a sweetheart. He was tiny. We called him Tiny Tim. Clever. Then she says, he was such a sweetheart. I can't think of anybody who would not miss him. To anyone who knew him, he was that bright, bubbly, happy guy. He was always out for fun. I already miss him.
I miss him too already.
Jesus, that's terrible. Now, the boss at the newspaper place that Lee worked at, he said, quote, he was always very punctual and always cleanly dressed. He was a very nice, polite guy. We would have had no reason to let him go before all this happened. Obviously, now we terminated his employment, but before this... Before he ate a guy, we really had no reason to fire him.
He was always neatly dressed, except for that one night on a Greyhound.
Yeah, except for the night he had fucking ears in his pocket. That was a different kind of night. Wow. Then he said, quote, I had no odd suspicions about him at all. His wife, Anna, who now is alone in Canada, said she was shocked and very much afraid as to what this was going to mean for her own life. Mm-hmm. Are people going to hate me now? Now, the McLeans, this is the family, released a statement to the press calling him, quote, a little guy with a heart bigger than you knew. This poor bastard.
You can't say that.
This is well...
You can't. You can't say that when a man ate his heart. You can't say that.
Well, yeah, that was the Jared Wyatt thing also.
You can't say that.
Bigger than you could know. It's enough to. Oh, I can't even.
It's
say.
It's a whole meal.
Horrible.
You bastards! You can't say that.
Oh my God, Jesus, that is horrible. And they called him a little guy, which I feel like is even. Let's insult him and then make a terrible joke about how he was eaten.
God damn it!
That's to say, we've had this once in Crime and Sports. A guy named Jared Wyatt. So we were like, they said the same thing about the guy who he killed, and we were like, don't say that, please.
Wrong.
Choice. Holy shit. They said he was a stubborn soul and a kind one. That's what his uncle said. He made friends effortlessly, disliked no one, and accepted everyone for who they were. He was a charmer who loved to smile, and you could never take a plate of food away from him. Why would you want to? Who's taking food away from people? Leave Timmy alone. Maybe he'd be bigger if he'd stop trying to take his food away. So Greyhound, you want to hear a bad...
Oh, God.
You want to hear a bad fucking ad campaign that they had out at the time. They had billboards and press shit all out that said, quote, "There's a reason you've never heard of bus rage." So they said, quote, "We've stopped any production of any ads that were going to be out, and anything that was still up we asked to be removed immediately."
Turns out you heard of it.
Turns out, holy shit, this is way worse than any other rage we've ever heard of. At the end of a road rage incident, someone doesn't have someone else's fucking eyes in their pocket and their head in their hand like
and their heart in their stomach.
Like a fatality at Mortal Kombat. Like, that's crazy.
Wow.
Now, Lee has no history of mental issues while he was growing up anyway. As a child, he was fine. He was frequently sick. He was like the fragile kid always.
Yeah.
That's all we know. He had a maternal uncle that had a mental illness, but nobody else in his family. So it wasn't like any kind of, he comes from those crazy fucks or anything.
Right.
He has no history of truancy, vandalism, behavioral difficulties, even during his teen years. He was a good student in both high school and college. Okay. He was good at his jobs. Everybody said he was studious and dressed clean and all that bullshit here. He, in 2005, he had gotten a divorce for some reason from Anna. He went back to China, got a divorce, came back, but then they stayed together even though they weren't technically married at this point.
Okay.
It was very odd. So Anna does say that in the summer of 2004, he started acting weird following several days where he did not sleep or eat regularly.
Huh.
Yeah, so some kind of mental problem. She said he cried a lot and told me he saw God. That's a bad sign.
I'll get that kid a doctor.
That's not a good sign. She thought he was just tired and bought him sleeping pills. So she said it would pop up every once in a while, this weird condition and everything.
So we knock him out?
So just go to sleep, you crazy fuck. That's what she said. Rather than, hey, let's get you some help. She was like, just go to sleep, stupid. Jesus. Like,
wow.
Wow. He had one admission to a psychiatric hospital in 2005. I guess. He was picked up by police walking on the highway on his way back to Winnipeg from Toronto. That's very far, by the way.
He was going to walk that?
You can't walk that. That's Forrest Gump can run that far, but you can't. It's just not good. So they took him in, but he didn't seek further psychiatric help, and then that was that. According to some reports, though, he said that he experienced in July of 2008, he had experienced auditory hallucinations before this all happened, in which the voice of God told him to move from Edmonton to Winnipeg. That's why he suddenly left and his wife was left behind because God told him to move now. So in Erickson, when he left the house or he left the bus and he slept on the bench and all that kind of shit, he said he had other auditory hallucinations and got rid of his possessions. Then he boarded another bus, and he thought that God was angry at him for not following his instructions strictly enough. So he thought he had angered God, he said. So he was like, fuck. He said that, this whole thing is obviously, he just burst out and did this then after that. So it's pretty fucking odd, honestly.
Yeah.
It's pretty odd. But it's basically, we'll get into exactly what he said about him, but he thinks he's an alien. There, in a nutshell, he said he was an alien and he had to kill him. He thought it was a paranoid delusion. So Tim's friends here said that he was lost a kind soul. It was always as if he was looking for something about Tim. And then they said about Vince, he needed help, but he just wouldn't get it. His friends kept saying. And then at one point, he, I guess, made a surprise trip to somebody's house that lived in the middle of nowhere that he knew. And he said he was thinking of looking at some land around there and buying it. And the woman said, I don't think he had any money, but I don't know what he was talking about. Then he started talking about how they were after him all the time. People, a general they, which is fucking weird. His boss just said, though, I've been doing this for 21 years and I can judge the type of people that we're hiring. He was just a normal guy, or so we thought. To read about this, it just totally gives me shivers. I'm a great judge of character, except for the guy who ate him guy. I missed that one. Missed the boat on that one, but usually I'm pretty good. That's what he said.
Right over me.
Right over there. Now, during the pretrial thing, he wants to say that he did it, but he's crazy. That's his whole thing. It's insanity. So the prosecutor said that in 18 years of prosecutions, he's never dealt with a case with the horrific details that we've all been hearing. I can't think of another one like it, saying that it seemed random, which made it even fucking weirder. So they send him to go to 2 different psychiatrists, one for the defense, one for the crown, they call it, one for the country here. Okay. So they said they're going to present their findings. If he's found not criminally responsible, he could be turned over to the Manitoba Review Board, which would determine whether he has received sufficient medical treatment to be returned to the community. So there you go. Now, other collateral damage, there's people that are all fucked up, by the way, from this whole thing.
Yeah, I am.
And everyone listening, but one of the passengers gave birth a couple years later, and she has such bad PTSD from the whole thing that her baby got taken away from her and shit, and it was like 3 years later.
Wow!
It totally, completely fucked this poor woman up. She has nightmares. She can't go be in public and all this shit because she thinks everybody's going to stab her in the neck, which seems reasonable at that point for her. Yeah. It's pretty fucking crazy. So. The trucker also says he has PTSD.
Yeah.
He said that after 10 years later, he said, after 10 years, I've never stopped mourning the life of Timothy McLean. He says that he has, quote, I've become an alcoholic to help me sleep at night. I know better, and I don't think my reaction is surprising to anyone. However, I hate what challenges me daily now.
Holy.
Yeah. So he pleads not criminally responsible, Lee, at the trial. The psychiatrist says that Lee performed the attack because God's voice told him that McLean was a force of evil and about to execute him. Wow. The psychiatrist says that he has schizophrenia, and at this point, and the presiding judge, this is a bench trial, by the way, so it's up to the judge decides that he accepts the diagnosis and ruled that Lee is not criminally responsible for the murder.
What in fuck's sake?
He's remanded to a mental health center.
For how long? Forever?
Oh, no. It's a review. Like every year he comes up for review.
Oh, my God.
So the reaction of the family, obviously, Tim's mother said, under no circumstances do I ever want this man walking free in public again. This shouldn't be acceptable to anyone. They can treat him, that's fine, but it has to be done in a locked facility for the rest of his days. Anything less than that is not justice. I don't think he could be cured. Treated, yes, but not cured. He's unpredictably dangerous. That's the best way to put it. Unpredictably dangerous. That's the title of this show. That is fucking crazy, man.
The man couldn't take... things were going on between the ears, and he couldn't take the voices, and he stabbed someone.
And ate someone. And
took them apart and ate them raw in front of people. That man is dangerous.
Hey, look at the head. Look what I got.
You can't have him around people.
Show and tell. The mother also said, I'm absolutely terrified of him and his capabilities. I think he'd do it again. Yeah, I'm going to fight to keep everyone safe from him. If that means going to court every year, I'll go every year. Instead of birthday parties, I'll be at not criminally responsible hearings.
That a girl, Ma.
Yeah. In June 2010, he was granted supervised outdoor walks. They recommended he be given hospital ground passes where 2 people walk with him and, make sure that he doesn't freak out and stab anybody and eat them. So he's making good progress, though. His doctor, Dr. Stanley Yaron, said, it's really a guess, but I'm going to say a time frame of within 5 years is not unrealistic.
That's ridiculous.
He said, relatively speaking, his response to treatment, he's been better than average. So, and he also says, and Lee gave me permission to say this, he's getting better.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's getting better. He also, the doctor said, he wanted to meet the family and apologize to them, but they were like, no thanks, we're good. In May 2012, he speaks, finally. He does an interview, and he said he bought the knife used in the attack for protection, quote, from the aliens. Yeah. That was the whole point. Yeah. He said that he didn't know he suffered from any mental illness. He said, the voice told me that I was the third story of the Bible, and that I was like the second coming of Jesus, and that I was to save people from this space alien attack.
Yeah, he's getting better.
Yeah, he's getting great. Second Jesus, Just going to say, this guy's ready to run for prime minister, I think. He's up. He's ready to go. I think. Second Jesus, space alien attacks, buying knives. This is perfect. He said, I was really scared. I remember cutting off his head. I believed he was an alien. The voices told me to kill him, that he would kill me or others. I do not believe this now. Well, that's helpful. Thanks.
That happened in your head, man, and you're getting better from that? How do you come back from that? Fuck that.
Well, he also said he was, quote, really sorry. I'm really sorry. Does that help? No, I don't think it does. February 2017, they said, quote, the review board is of the opinion that the weight of evidence does not substantiate that he poses a significant threat to the safety of the public. He is released into the public.
Stop it.
Not only is he released, he gets his name changed. He changes his fucking name. His name is Will Baker now. That's his name.
What?
He's like, what's the most? Will Baker. Will Baker's, yeah, that's his name. Will Baker is his new name.
Oh, my God. Is
Yeah.
that a threat? Is he going to put a woman in a fucking oven now?
Yeah, Will the Baker. They said he's been a model citizen. He lives every day with remorse about what he did, and he knows that what he did was atrocious, so he'll never forgive himself. But society has nothing to worry about, really, because as the review board noted, when they gave him an absolute discharge, he was at low risk of reoffending. So everybody relax. I guess it's fine. What the fuck?
In 9 years, he's out?
That is insanity. So McLean has a kid from that. He's got a 15-year-old kid that was born at that never met him because this guy cut his head off, and it's like, you're good. You're fine. The mother, Tim's mother, said to me, Vincent Lee is not a monster. He's just, no. This is the doctor. To me, Vincent Lee is not a monster. He's just someone that unfortunately went through an undiagnosed medical illness.
No!
The family says, we're trying to move on, but it's still very, very hard. I don't think we'll ever get over it. Yeah, that's exactly right. There you go. So enjoy, everybody. That's
Will's out there.
Sleep tight.
Canada.
What the fuck, Canada?
Oh,
Holy
Canada.
Jesus. Wow, we love you and you're very nice, but that's one where we go, hey, that's a little too nice, right? You can,
maybe back off the nice, guys.
Holy
He
shit.
took What?
He took other parts, too, and cut things off. He had a whole...
Americans are never allowing that.
Well, I mean, they would. I'm sure it happens more often, but it would be more satisfying for the family to not have him be out in 8 years. That's a little...
Oh, boy.
That's fucking crazy. So anyway, if you enjoyed that show, you're sick as fuck and you didn't eat before you listened, but tell everyone you liked it. Get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It helps a lot. Follow us on social media. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram as well. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get your merchandise. Get your tickets to live shows September the 23rd and 24th in Tampa at the Improv, or September the 23rd in Tampa at the Improv, September the 24th in Orlando at the Improv, 2 shows each night. There we go. And of course, October the 27th, and they'll be available for a week after that, the virtual live show, our Halloween Spectacular we're going to do. Fun stuff. It's going to be some weird, gross thing. Not as gross as this, probably. I don't think that's possible, but pretty goddamn gross. Get your tickets right now at shutupandgivememurder.com or at moment.co/shutup or /smalltownmurder. Also, patreon.com/crime and sports. All your bonus stuff. Anybody $5 a month or above a month, you're going to get it all this week. What you're going to get: Sex Scandals Part 2 for Crime and Sports, the Duke fuck list and everything it entails. And for Small Town Murder, you're going to get the Most Dangerous Game documentary about the Zodiac Killer, the guy who thought his long-lost father was the Zodiac Killer. Spoiler alert, he's fucking not. And we'll talk about the whole investigation, where that's going, and you'll get a shout-out at the end of the regular show. Shutupandgivememurder.com. So there's a website. Patreon.com/crime and sports is Patreon. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Come back again next week, and until then, everyone, it's been our pleasure.
Ah, well.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.